Welcome to our 5th episode of Child Sexual Abuse Prevention by Zena podcast. I'm your host, Zena Poncel. Hey guys, thank you for popping on. In this episode, I'm going to discuss how to speak to your child about body safety. So, are you ready? Let's go. Many people have no problem having this talk with their child. However, some do, and it's okay. There could be numerous reasons why some adults are uneasy about speaking on this topic. So, do not judge people who may be uncomfortable having this conversation with their kids. I hope in some way I can make this subject a little easier for people to talk about with their children. Society has changed significantly from back in the day. When I was growing up, no one ever talked to me about child sexual abuse. I had never heard of it. I was very fortunate to have protective and involved parents, even though this was not a topic they discussed with me. They monitored who was around me. I never realized the safety net they had cast over me until I became older. For those of you, male or female, whose parents didn't protect you or maybe didn't know how to protect you, I am so sorry. I wish I could change that part of your childhood. I really, really do. Please know you're a survivor, and I am very proud of you. I wish I could take the pain and hurt away, but I can't. All I know to do is to continue to educate adults on protecting their child or children, or any child, from this horrific crime. The fact that you are listening to this podcast, or any podcast about preventing child sexual abuse, tells me you want what's best for your child. You want to protect them with everything you are, which includes educating them about child sexual abuse and the way offenders target their children, but on their developmental level. Some people think teaching a child about child sexual abuse is teaching them about sex, like sex education in school. That is not what I'm talking about. It's all prevention education, preventing anything from happening to a child. Are you around your child 100% of the time? Not usually. Kids need to know about this subject. In my book, and no, I haven't written a book, educating your kids on child sexual abuse prevention by having conversations with them is one of the most important things you can teach your child. Look at it this way. Do you teach your child things about safety in general, like don't cross the street without an adult, you may get hit by a car? Don't touch the dog food bowl while the dog is eating, you might get bitten? Put on your seatbelt when you get in the car to keep you secure in case we get in a wreck. We need to make the child sexual abuse prevention conversation a part of our children's regular safety talk. Add it to the mix. No, you don't need to use the word sexual. The conversation can easily take place without teaching your young child that word. I'm assuming you don't want your 4-year-old running around pre-K using the S word. Start speaking to them at an early age on their developmental level. Super simple, small words, short sentences. As they grow, keep the conversation going. Be prepared for questions. If you don't know the answer to a question, be honest. Tell your child, that was a great question. Let me check on that and I'll get you an answer. You can email me anytime at csapreventionbyzena@gmail.com or go over to our Facebook group called Child Sexual Abuse Prevention by Zena and toss your or your child's question our way. You're also welcome to send us a private message. Whatever you're comfortable with. We're here to help to the best of our ability and knowledge. Remember, this podcast isn't for me. It's for you. For those of you who are uncomfortable with having the body safety talk with your child, I'm here today to help you out. I got you. For those of you who are very comfortable having this conversation with your child, I got you too. Now you're thinking, why is she talking to me? I don't have any problem talking to my kid about body safety. While you may be comfortable having this conversation, I'm going to provide a teeny tiny bit of guidance that may help you out, having mainly to do with wording. So let's dive in. What is the body safety talk anyway? What do I mean when I say that? It means a talk with your child, letting them know that no one is supposed to touch them on their genital area, right? Oh, we have to go into much more than that if we really want to protect our children. Much more. Are you still ready? Is this a one-time talk with your child? Nope. I'm going to beat this in the ground. This conversation with your child needs to start as young as possible and should continue through their entire childhood. 4. First and foremost, At what age should you begin having these body safety conversations with your child? I've heard various ages, age 4, age 9, age 12. While there are numerous studies out on when and why, I'm going to toss in my 2 cents, my opinion about it. And before I go any further about my 2 cents, think about this. A little over 4 million babies are born in the United States every year. If child sexual abuse stats stay the same over the next 17 years, that covers all ages of children. About 400,000 babies born this year will become victims of sexual abuse before they turn 18. And that stat is calculated on past reported cases. Think about the number of abused kids that will never, ever be reported. I need to give y'all a trigger warning. A trigger warning is to let you know the upcoming content of this podcast may bother some past victims of childhood sexual abuse. That is not my intent. I just wanted to prepare you mentally for what was coming. Pretty much all our podcasts need a trigger warning on it, and I believe I've got it posted in the description on the first one or either on the trailer. So anyway, here I go. Did you know that many people don't disclose or tell about their childhood sexual abuse until they're generally in their 40s? Think about all the years that person, all victims, male and female, has kept this secret inside. All the childhood trauma, what the offender said and did to them to keep them quiet, and how the offender made them feel. Emotional and physical issues that more than likely developed from abuse, suicidal ideations or thoughts, addictions, low self-esteem, anger issues, relationship issues, gender confusion, eating disorders, confusion about faith, and so much more. There are some adults today who have never, ever told anyone, no one, and that is totally their choice. But always remember, there is help out there, and I'll have information for you in the description on this podcast. Okay, back to what age should we begin talking to our children about body safety? As soon as possible. Remember, part of the body safety talk is communication and keeping that door open. I know it may be a little much to talk to your brand new beautiful infant about being safe, or is it? You know you're talking to them when you're holding them close, rocking them in the rocking chair, bathing them, dressing them. Begin with the simple, I'll take care of you and protect you. You can always come to me about anything or anyone who's ever bothering you. I know your brand new little person has no idea what you're saying, but eventually they will, and they will remember it as far back as they can. But your words have to be ongoing through their entire childhood. Add additional words and meanings to your safety talks. When their verbal skills kick in and they begin to talk, they'll probably begin to repeat what you've been saying to them numerous times since they were born. I call this their parakeet stage. That's my little nickname for it. Many years ago, the main body safety terminology involved the words good touch and bad touch. There was an actual curriculum used to educate children at the elementary school level called good touch, bad touch. Keep in mind, there was very little, if any, prevention education in the schools teaching children about body safety back then. I myself was a trained instructor of good touch, bad touch curriculum. Tells you how old I am, right? As the years went by and additional studies were done on this topic, other curriculums began to surface with changes that were in the best interest of children. Many children would associate the phrase bad touches with touches that hurt them. You know, touches that would cause them pain. In many child sexual abuse cases, the child may not experience any pain due to it being a touch or a fondling, or the offender having the child touch the offender on their genital area. Today, I've heard words and used words when working with children like safe and unsafe touches, as well as wanted or unwanted touches, replacing the previous words used that was good touch and bad touch. There may be other words utilized as the meat and the potatoes of the conversation in regard to different touches, but safe and unsafe touches and wanted and unwanted touches, to me, are your top choices in today's world to use in protecting your child. Really, it's all in how you explain the meaning of the words with examples to your child that make the difference. For the rest of this podcast, I will be using the words safe and unsafe touches. Some examples of safe touches to talk to your child about are hugs, pats on the back, handshake, fist bump, the groovy cool handshakes, arms around the shoulder, things like that. Some examples of unsafe touches are someone touching a child on their body where their bathing suit goes, such as the front and back genital area for boys and front and back genital area and chest area for girls. The offender may touch the child with their hand, mouth, or genitals. Keep in mind the offender or pedophile may make the child touch them, the offender, on their genitals with the child's hands, mouth, or genital area. How does an offender make a child touch them? Several ways: through physical force, through play, through fear. I know the main focus when having the safety talk with the child involves the genital area and mouth of the child and or the offender. But what about the other times the child feels unsafe due to a physical touch involving other places on their body? In my opinion, the talk with your child needs to be if anyone ever makes them feel afraid, nervous, confused, scared, worried. Basically, if they're made to feel uncomfortable by another person's actions or words, they need to tell you. Their safe go-to person. Let your child know even if it's you making them feel uncomfortable, or brothers or sisters, someone they know or don't know. Remember, you're their safe person who they can tell anything to, things that make them happy or not happy. Open communication is key to keeping your child safe, and they need to feel safe. Respect your child's body. Ask before giving them a hug. May I hug you? Is it okay with you if I give you a hug? Are you okay with me hugging you? By doing this, you're showing your child how to set boundaries and respect for themselves and others. Teach your child to do the same to others when they feel the urge to hug someone. Kids need to be taught at an early age that their body belongs to them, and they're allowed to say no, please don't touch me there, or just no and don't. It also goes along with bullying behavior, so no one is allowed to touch them without their permission. They are not allowed to touch someone else without the other person's permission as well. Think about this. Pictures with Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny or some other character. Many kids are screaming because they're afraid of them. And yet how the kids feel is totally disrespected just to get that annual photo, often by their safe person. Children are often forced to hug and kiss family members. What is this behavior teaching them about their bodies? That anyone can touch them at any time, no matter how the child feels? Again, think about it. How about letting your little person stand in front of or beside the character you're so desperately trying to take that classic photo of? If your child still feels unsafe, hold your child and you stand beside the dressed up, usually seasonal character. Or what about the family member your child is being forced to hug or kiss? Maybe your child can blow them a kiss or wave or do cool fist bumps. Please don't force your child to engage with others if they're not comfortable. Teaching your child that they have no say-so about who touches them or how they feel about it. Again, my opinion, these actions could benefit an offender in the long run. Let me throw this at you. You, the adult listening to this podcast, are you okay with anyone touching you anywhere they please without your permission? Someone you do not have a close relationship with? Picture this. You're sitting in a movie theater, quietly watching a movie by yourself, having a little me time. And you're an adult. Someone comes in and sits right next to you and puts their hand on your leg. Yeah, it was your leg. Your leg's a part of your body, right? Are you okay with that? This is not someone you may be in a relationship with. That would give me the heebie-jeebies. What we may also call the uh-oh feeling when speaking with kids. And that person was touching your leg. Think about other parts of the body. So again, I ask you this: should we ask our children, is it okay if I hug you? Are you okay with me giving you a hug? I think we really need to work together and try to educate our children more about their body boundaries and, of course, body safety. Okay, recap and maybe a little bit more. Having safety conversations as early as possible with your kids can be very beneficial. They may not even be talking yet, but you can still say, I'm here to take care of you and keep you safe. Tell them they can come to you if anything or anyone makes them feel uncomfortable. You may need to use other words based on their developmental age. If anyone ever touches or hurts their bathing suit area or makes your child touch the other person on their bathing suit area, they can come to you. And even if the other person is someone they know or don't know and any age, even if it's another child, Be sure and tell your child if this ever happens to them, they are allowed to yell "no" in a great big voice to whomever may be doing this to them, even if it's a grown-up. And you know what? You and your child need to practice yelling "no," just in case anything ever happens. Your child needs to understand when you talk about someone touching them, it may not always be with their hands. Tell your child if anyone touches them with any part of their body, including the mouth, they need to let you know. Have your child name 3 other safe grown-ups that they can talk to or go to just in case you're not available. Please let the grown-ups know that your child named them, that they are one of your child's safe go-to people. You know as well as I do, very young children need assistance in getting baths. When you're washing your child, use this time to teach them the proper names of body parts. Something like, I'm washing your hair while you're washing their hair. Now I'm washing your face. And this is your arm. Let's get it clean. At the end of your arm is your hand. Let's wash your hand. And there are those cute little fingers. Let's get those clean that you use to pick up your chicken nuggets with. Make it fun. If you name your child's body parts while washing your child and speaking with them, you can use that time for teaching proper names of the anatomy, from the hair on their head all the way down to their little toes. You can also include safety talks. When you're washing your child's bottom, you can toss in there, this is the part of your body where your bathing suit goes. If anyone, any age, touches you there or makes you touch them on their bathing suit area, you need to tell me what happened, and you won't be in any trouble, even if the other person said you were. Let your child know, even if you or any other people they normally feel safe around makes them feel uncomfortable, to please let you know. Teaching a child about body safety, in my opinion, is not a one-time sit-down chat with your child and then it's over and done. Remember in previous episodes and earlier in this one, I mentioned keeping the doors of communication open with you and your child. The conversation about pedophiles, people they know, people they don't know, other kids, adults, males and females making our kids feel uncomfortable, or the offender making our kids touch them on their bodies, using not only their hands or genitals, but their mouths. This has to be an ongoing, gentle conversation as your child grows and develops. As their little brains grow and develop, being able to pour additional information into those little heads to help them remain safe. You know your child better than anyone. How you choose to educate your child on body safety is entirely up to you. In many states, schools are required by law to educate children of all ages of child sexual abuse prevention through age-appropriate curriculums and trained staff. Children need to be learning this before school age. Keep in mind, many grown-ups are not trying to learn about child safety. Many are too busy with drugs, participating in family feuds, and other things to focus on their kids. Thank you so much for taking a huge interest in protecting your children. Children need as many super safe grown-ups to be educated on this subject. By educating children and adults on child sexual abuse prevention, the hope is one day this crime against our children will be in the past and will never resurface. In the meantime, kids need us. Let's keep pushing forward. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Don't forget, shoot me an email with any questions or comments at csapreventionbyzena@gmail.com. Pop on over and join our private Facebook group too. You can contribute information in our group that may be beneficial in protecting our children from pedophiles. You can also post anonymously. There are some amazing podcasts and resources out there on this subject. Remember, whether you listen to this podcast or not, please learn about child sexual abuse prevention from somewhere. I'll chat with y'all next Thursday.
Don't forget to be safe. I appreciate it.